Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
As the family of longtime Eastern Market CEO Dan Carmody is mourning the loss of his wife, Vivian, we are learning more about the moments after the crash and the people who did all they could to try to help. Dan and his wife, Vivian, were hit Friday night as they walked to dinner in the area of St. Aubin and Lafayette in Detroit. Dan survived it. His wife, Vivian, did not. And that tops our news tonight at 11. I'm Devin Skillion.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Today, a homicide warrant has been submitted to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Pamela Osborne spoke with witnesses tonight. She joins us live now with a closer look at this accident, which has devastated so many people in the community. Pamela.
It truly has. The couple was hit near that intersection back there, and according to witnesses, that white van dragged them all the way over here where this memorial is now. This is where Dan and Vivian were. That car kept going, crossing a median, flattening a street sign, losing a tire before hitting a tree and coming to rest in front of busy apartment complexes.
Between St. Aubin and Shane for a pedestrian accident with injuries. These two pedestrians have been hit by a vehicle.
Before police and fire arrived, there was Yvette Whitfield and her son, Gary.
It was horrible. It was horrific.
The sound of a crash drew her attention to her window at the Martin Luther King Homes. She says she watched as an out-of-control van crossed the median of Lafayette near St. Aubin. She rushed outside.
Again, I didn't know nobody was under it. Once I got there, I was like, oh my God, I can't stay. I couldn't tell my son, I got it, Mom. Just go. You know how you live.
Vivian and Dan Carmody were the two people hit by that van. Police confirmed what witnesses already suspected, that the driver, a 29-year-old man from Romulus, was under the influence.
Again, a very tragic case, senseless, using narcotics and drinking while driving, losing control of the vehicle and going into a narcotic episode, ultimately resulting in the loss of life and a pillar in our community.
I'm trained in CPR.
Gary tried to help.
She was responding very well. Then I checked on her husband, and he was like, just make sure lady, that's what he called it. He said, just make sure lady was all right.
Everyone had hoped the husband and wife would make it. They were devastated when they learned Vivian did not.
I just want him to know I am so sorry. I am very sorry. I am very, very sorry for that loss.
And it was a nice summer night. There were so many people out and about, and the tragedy of it all, according to Gary, is just that they were out walking, enjoying the nice weather, trying to grab dinner, and something like this happened. We did speak with a representative who said that Dan underwent surgery on his leg and his ankle Saturday. He's expected to be released from the hospital soon. Meantime, those people we spoke with this evening sincerely want him to know that they are thinking of him, they are praying for him, and certainly wishing him the best in his difficult recovery that he now has ahead. Reporting live in Detroit, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
As are so many others in the community. Okay, Pamela, we appreciate it.
Do not vote for me.
Well, that's something you don't usually hear from anyone running for office, something this longtime city councilman actually never expected to hear himself say. Ray Muscat made it through the primary election, but now has resigned from his seat on the Dearborn Heights City Council. So now, does he still appear on the ballot? A lot of questions in Dearborn Heights. Mara McDonald is live there tonight, and he is, we should point out here, Mara, resigning because of health problems.
Some significant health problems, Devin. You know, Ray Muscat told me he really doesn't want to do this and he feels terrible about it, but his doctors have made it clear that this is a necessity, all of which is setting up something very interesting for November. Let me show you.
For me, it was very difficult.
Difficult to write this letter and resign after 8 years on the Dearborn Heights City Council.
This ugly thing has reared its head.
Muscat was recently hospitalized, and his doctors told him he has significant health issues ahead of him.
I'm going to be missing a lot of time, and it's not fair to the residents.
But this leaves Dearborn Heights in an interesting spot for the election. Muscat cleared the primary, and after consulting with municipal clerks and those who specialize in election law, despite his resignation, his name will still appear on the ballot in November.
Please vote for someone else. Do not vote for me.
Election law does not provide a mechanism for removal other than death. He told me he hates this situation, but he's out of options.
I'm very proud that I served. I'm very humble that the people elected me.
Back here live, some in Dearborn Heights have questioned, why can't they just bump up somebody else from the primary who had the next highest vote total? The simple answer is Michigan election law just doesn't work that way. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
Well, of course, Mara, we know the power of name ID at the ballot box. So if he does win in November, then what?
Well, then he's not going to be seated. He's already said he won't be seated, and that would leave the city council here in Dearborn Heights in the position to name or appoint somebody to fill the vacancy.
Yeah. All right, Mara. Well, 2 people are in custody in connection to an Amber Alert for twins who were abducted this morning. Police say, or last night actually, police say the 14-day-old twins were taken last night from their parents' hotel room. They were staying at the Quality Inn in Livonia. The mom and dad and twin boys were seeking safety there after they say people came to their home on Saturday on the city's west side and tried to break in. Well, it was at the hotel. 2 suspects seen here on the screen came to their room and took the twins, sparking the Amber Alert. We await word on possible charges.
Detroit Public School teachers set to vote on a tentative contract agreement with the district. Union membership met over Zoom tonight to go over details in the contract. Meanwhile, teachers have started going back to work today to get ready for the first day of classes on August 28th. Voting on the new contract ends Thursday at noon.
And Jill and I have what's left, walked Front Street, what's left of it. We've surveyed the damage from the air as well. The devastation is overwhelming.
President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden in Hawaii today for the first time to survey the devastation left by unrelenting wildfires.
The pair touring on foot also and getting an aerial view as well. 2 weeks after one of the deadliest wildfires in recent history, the official death toll now stands at 114. But keep in mind, there are still hundreds of people still unaccounted for. Following the tour, President Biden delivered remarks promising to support Maui's recovery and conveying his sympathy to those who lost everything. He's also noting the iconic banyan tree, badly burned but still standing among all of the ash.
Today is burned, but it's still standing. The tree survived for a reason. I believe it's a very powerful symbol of what we can and will do to get through this crisis. And for this, for as long as it takes, we're going to be with you. The whole country will be with you.
The White House said today that a new federal response coordinator will help make sure all federal agencies are bringing the right resources to help the community to rebuild and recover.
Former President Donald Trump says he will turn himself in Thursday to the Fulton County Jail. Trump made the announcement tonight on Truth Social. It's in connection to the racketeering case against him in Georgia. Today, attorneys worked out bond terms. It's set at $200,000 along with other release conditions. Trump's co-defendants also negotiated their terms. Usually in Fulton County, arrestees are booked into jail and must appear before a magistrate within 72 hours. That is unlikely to happen here due to the indictments and prior negotiations.
Interim Michigan State University President Teresa Woodruff says she is not interested in having that position on a permanent basis. She is currently the 3rd interim president in the last 5 years. She's held the post since September of 2022, when then President Samuel Stanley resigned. So a committee is going to conduct a national search for the next president. They say the goal is to find that person to be permanently in place by Thanksgiving.
And moving over to Wayne State University, Kimberly Andrews SB will be sworn in tomorrow as the school's first female president. The university's Board of Governors voted unanimously to elect Dr. SB as president after a national search. She succeeds M. Roy Wilson, who held that role for the last decade. A community group on Detroit's east side is helping keep people in the neighborhood one home at a time.
Grassroots Detroiters helps with home repairs for people who sometimes might not qualify for help from other agencies. The group's making the repairs happen through a home improvement grant program, the nonprofit set up for neighbors in need. Projects like this, part of a solutions-driven mission for the Grassroots Detroiters.
The program is designed to help the people in the community, to give inspiration to them, to bring up the housing value over here.
It helps the neighborhood make the people that lives here want to stay here.
The group helps homeowners with a variety of projects, including flooring, windows, plumbing. Grassroots Detroiters also holds classes to train neighbors on how to tackle some of those home projects themselves.